Hi again, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing the second half of my What Solds, which will be for last weekend, October 20th through the 22nd. First, before we get started, I want to talk about two things. First, I wanted to thank all of my viewers who came over into my Whatnot show yesterday and just showed support, let me know they were in there, in the chat, and just kept me company for the 2 hours that the show went. So I really appreciate that. Please let me know, when you're over there. I don't expect you to buy anything, but it is nice when you just come in and keep us company and do some chit chat. It was an amazing show. I finally got the tote full of Barbie stuff sold. Almost everything sold, and it was a lot of fun. And the Barbie community on Whatnot was there, and I had some treasures that I didn't even know about, which, there's a lot of times, I mentioned in the show, there's a lot of times, that somebody can show me a picture and I know exactly what it is. I know about the value. And that's how a lot of people are with their niche. In the action figure group that I talk about sometimes, there's people in there, you show them one little piece to an action figure and they know exactly what it belongs to. And it was the same as the Barbie. They knew what they were seeing, and it was a really good sale. So thank you guys for coming over and supporting my Whatnot. But also, I wanted to kind of touch on a subject from my last video. There were lots of comments about my shipping, the fact that I changed my shipping down to where I'm only charging the buyer the commercial rate, the eBay rate, for my listings that are over a pound and are calculated shipping. Like, my clothes are not calculated shipping. My clothes are flat rate unless they will not fit in a flat rate padded envelope. So those don't get included. It's just everything else that's, over the 1 pound. And there was lots of comments about, I'm losing out on what I'm paying for my shipping supplies. And I'm going to show you an example here in a minute. When I do a listing that is calculated shipping, like none of my first class is. I don't think people understand that. Nothing that was the first class shipping, it's all flat rate. So it's just over a pound. So keep that in mind. And when I do a listing, priority shipping is the first choice, which most buyers choose it. And then I have ground advantage as the second. And if it's medium L, I might bump that up to the top. And if it's large, I might include UPS. And, it gives you an estimate on what shipping's going to be. And usually I'll shuffle stuff around to make it the most reasonable for buyers. But I don't think people realize, like, I get, I use the eBay printed labels. If somebody in a region near me buys something, their shipping's going to be $7.20 for up to 2 pounds. That's going to be my example. A mug is going to be my example. So priority is $7.20 and ground advantage is $7.15. It is not worth the box, the cost of the box, for me to offer ground advantage first for 5-cent savings to the buyer. I'm going to offer priority first. And, priority boxes are free. They're free. So almost everything I ship is priority. And it's not really costing a whole lot more for the buyer. And then they get the added advantage of it arriving sometimes sooner. I have so many problems right now with the post office and the ground advantage packages going coast to coast. Several times going from one post office to another all over the place. I've got one right now where they sent me a screenshot and their package is going all over the United States. That doesn't really happen a lot with priority mail. So I'm going to show you an example. I'm not going to do screen and screen for this first part because I want you to see the whole thing. But this is why this is working for me. The buyer is getting their items quicker and it's not costing them very much more. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over my screen. Here is the coffee mug that I have to ship Monday. it is going to be a 2-pound package. For my dimensions, I almost always just leave it at 13.8. That's a large priority box. You can go smaller and it doesn't affect your shipping. So I just usually leave it at that. If it's going to be larger than that, then I am going to pre-box and put in the actual dimensions. As you can see here, USPS priority mail is going to be $7.20. This is in a region somewhere near me. And the USPS ground advantage is $7.15. Even if this person went in and looked and wanted to pay the nickel less, I'm still going to upgrade it to the $7.20 because I'm not going to pay for a box. You know, the priority box that I would ship this in is one of the smalls, the 8x8x6 or whatever it is. For the extra 5 cents, it's worth it. And I'm seeing a lot of this. And I'm seeing more coffee cup selling, more shoes selling, more puzzle selling, and even large size boxes are selling for me now. That when a buyer looks at this and they see they only have to pay $7.20, and then they look at somebody else's listing and it's going to be $8 or $9 or $10, they're going to pick mine because the shipping is more reasonable. But keep in mind, I still have flat rate on my under a pound. That's going to go ground advantage. And that is still covering a majority, if not all, of my shipping prices, my shipping supply prices. I hope that helps people understand that this is way more beneficial for me. I'm making more sales, I'm making more money, and I'm using free shipping supplies anyway. Couple of sales on Poshmark to sell with you. Nothing on Mercari. Y'all, at this point, 1 month into fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure Etsy's going to be gone. And I'm not too confident that Mercari's not going to be a short time after that. I'm just not making the sales there that I expected. So I may get down to the point where I am eBay, Poshmark, and whatnot. All right, so first thing, Arby's restaurant adjustable hat. Robert picked up several of these at a yard sale. I haven't even listed all of them yet. I need to get to them because they've done very well for me. This hat sold for $15 on Poshmark. Circo Gray Elephant Lovey sold for $16 on Poshmark. Loft Women's Jeans sold for $17. And Guess Women's Jeans sold for $17. All right, and then Etsy. I did have a sale on there, but I've not had any since. So I want to say I've only had 2 or 3 sales for the whole month. So it's just not worth continuing. But this Gibson Greetings Bear Lot featuring pilgrims sold for $18.95. And then eBay. Friday and Saturday was my, I want to say, typical non-fourth quarter amounts that I made those days. And then Sunday was not great. And then, y'all, it's just gone downhill. I'm not quite sure what's going up with eBay, but this week has been pitiful, pitiful. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm hoping whatever they're doing in the background is going to be done and we can have a good November. Blue Box, VeggieTales Larry Boy. This was one of those plush that had micro beads in it. I just kind of picked a price point. Got an offer for $30 and I went ahead and accepted it. $30 is pretty dang good for a 8-inch plush. All right, this is a vintage horse figure. I bought a bag of something at a yard sale and for something that was in the bag. I've already listed it. I don't even remember what it was. And then there was a few horses that were just loose. So I went ahead and grabbed them one day when I was just kind of going through smalls. This one had like peg feet on it. No other markings other than it was made in Hong Kong. And picked a price point, you know, higher than I expect. And then hope to see what offers I get. This guy and I went back and forth several times, and finally I accepted an offer of $12.25 for just a little vintage horse. If you're new to my channel, I don't do free shipping, so the buyer also pays additional for the shipping. All right, this is House of Lloyd, which is also Christmas Around the World. It was just a Christmas deer plush that says, "I dearly love Christmas" on the front, sold for $14.50. Little Tykes Chunky Vehicles. There's, I think, like 3 to this set. There's also a yellow, like, dump truck. Anytime I can find them, I usually list them as I find them and add to it. And this is what happened with this. I think I had the green one listed and I found an orange one. Ended the listing, added to it, and it sold. These 2 together sold for $22.45. All right, Ridge Cut men's pants sold for $10. Nat and Jewels, which is also Demdaco, Bear Plush 21-inch sold for $27.46. Littlest Pet Shop. This is all from the bag of stuff I found at a yard sale when we were down visiting with Tea and Pickers. This was one of the compact Littlest Pet Shop digital toys, sold for $22.45. Mattel Winnie the Pooh and Tigger plush lot sold for $12.11. All right, this is Fisher-Price Loving Family Dollhouse. This is the African American little boy, 1998, sold for $20.66. Hallmark Frosty the Snowman animated musical plush sold for $13.45. Johnston and Murphy slip-on loafers. We picked these up at a recent estate sale where I bought a whole bunch of really nice vintage clothing. The shoes there that day were $2 each. I took a best offer of $21 on these shoes. I picked these up, I want to say last year, at an estate sale. I actually got a bag of these. They're little 2 3/4 inch size turkey little baskets. I've sold a couple of them already. Oh yeah. I was confused because I thought I had more. I have one more set of, a set of 4 of these, and then I ended up having three extras in the bag, and I went ahead and got them listed also. But these 4 little baskets sold for $17.74. Casual Victoria Bill coffee mug sold for $9. Coffee mugs. All right, these were from a box lot of HO scale train stuff that we picked up at an estate sale. We bought like the copy paper boxes. They were like $20 and $25 each, filled with accessories, but not trains. I'm almost out of it at this point. These were just little miniature figures for the models, sold for $15. Ingrid Ltd. Chicago. These are stackable melamine bowls. I think I've already showed you the first set that sold, and then this is the second set that sold for $20. Melamine, definitely check the comps, y'all. Snoopy wardrobe, basketball clothing. Bought a box, paid $5 for the box. I thought it was doll clothes at first, but it ended up being clothing sets for the vintage Snoopy and Belle plush dolls. This set sold for $17. Spark Create Imagine. This was an older listing, sold for $7. Meoni Tots by Aurora. Husky little 8-inch plush sold for $8. Best offer. Clark's white sandals. For majority of us, the sandal wearing days are done, so anytime I get a reasonable offer, I'm going to go ahead and accept it so I can make room for more shoes as we pick them up. Sold for $12. Bill Blass women's jeans, definitely vintage, sold for $12. Again, another older listing. Lucky brand Sophia jeans sold for $11.08. Here's an example. If you look at the shipping costs on this screen, I charge a flat rate of $8.99 for most of the clothing, like I said, that will fit in a priority flat rate envelope. And then usually, you know, the actual shipping cost is $8.30, which means I make about 69 cents. And that all accumulates and helps offset the cost of my shipping supplies. AccuMath 400 slide rule case, one of Robert's finds. He likes to find this odd stuff. Sold for $8.46. American Eagle women's jeans. This was a jeans and pants selling weekend. These corduroys sold for $12. Imaginext, I bought a huge bag of, I think they were from the blind bags, and somebody just put in one of the consignment sales or at a yard sale, just the whole bag. I want to say I paid $8 for all of it, and I divvied it up into like sets of 2, or by like marble. I put all the marbles together, anything like that. And I've sold a lot of it. These 2 sold for $16.12. American Greetings. I tend to pick up most plush that is seasonal, and especially Halloween. This was a little black bat, sold for $7.57. Carter's Blue Whale Plush sold for $9.25. Merrill Black Women's Slip-On Shoes. Again, shoes, coffee mugs, $18. And last is this Churchill Willow Rosa butter dish. I paid $25 for like 2 totes full of this brand, you know, platters, coffee, gravy boats, just coffee cups, plates, all of that. It was a huge amount, and I've already sold several pieces out of it. This butter dish sold for $15. No grand sales, but like I always say, the bread and butter, it all adds up, and that's what's going to pay my bills most of the time. All right, just more ideas of things that is selling for me right now. Like I said, this week, terrible. I'm hoping November gets better. But I plan on, I think, starting to do more Whatnot shows and eBay. eBay's always going to be number 1 for me. All right, y'all. We all need to get to work. Bye.